I have a question. Why are so many people out there, especially young people, they're doing everything they can in their power to make themselves as angry as possible, and they're also doing everything in their power to make themselves as unattractive as possible? So I'll give you guys an example to start. Let's say if you're a white guy living in America or Canada, let's just say, I don't care if you're a white supremacist. You absolutely hate black people, you hate Chinese people, you hate Indians, you hate Mexicans, Arabs, Native Americans. I mean, that's totally fine. I can't control your life. I can't control your ability to think. I mean, if that's how you feel, then that's how you feel. And so be it. So let's say, right, if you're a hardcore white supremacist, you absolutely despise black people, and you choose to live in a predominantly white neighborhood. Let's say somewhere in rural Florida, in one of those gated communities where only rich white folks could afford to live. You have your own security, you have your own butler, and your inner circle, everybody's white. That's totally fine, right? You get to choose to live your own life. I'm not the one to judge you. So everything is going great. You're married, you got 2 kids, you have a couple of dogs, couple of cats, everything is going well. And at the end of your long workday, you're just tired, you're exhausted. Then you log onto the internet, and then you search up videos on the internet, looking up black on black violent crimes in the hood, where these young black gangsters they're shooting each other. Let's say, this is happening in the south side of Chicago. You got a bunch of young black men who are part of gangs, they're shooting up each other. Okay, I'm not denying that, yes, there's an issue of rampant crime, especially black on black crime in certain parts of the United States. But I mean, if you're living in a 99% white gated community in Florida, why are you so concerned about it? Like, why are you getting so angry, so riled up over it? This is one of the so many issues I see, especially on apps like X. I think LinkedIn is the absolute worst app out there. I've already deleted LinkedIn, I deleted Instagram, I deleted Facebook, I deleted TikTok, and of course I'm very active on YouTube. I'll tell you guys why. I mean, watching those videos, if you're a white supremacist, it's not going to do you any favors. All it's going to do is that it's going to make you more racist every single day, and it's going to make you more depressed, and it's going to make you more angry. It doesn't matter which part of the world you live in, it doesn't matter what age you are, it doesn't matter what your occupation is, it doesn't matter what your religious beliefs are. Nobody wants to be around unhappy people. I've shared so many videos about my past and my insane family. If every single day of your life, when you wake up or when you go to work, when you get back home, all you hear is this, like, ah! Nobody wants to deal with people like that. By the way, I'm not just trying to pick on white people. I'm just giving you guys an example. So perhaps you gotta just dial it back a little bit on social media. And also, it's the same thing with those white men that say, oh my God, white genocide, mass immigration, millions of refugees. Look at the mud sharks crisis, snow bunny crisis. Well, those are the exact same white men who are crazy after Asian women. I met so many of these white men in Canada. It's 100% creepy. There's some kind of a weird fetish going on with these men and Asian women. I'll give you guys one name. I won't even say his last name. By the way, this is not some guy who is short, fat, and ugly who cannot get a girl. So his name is Alec. So 6'3", white guy. Probably has dated at least anywhere between 10 to 15, possibly 20 women. Once again, he doesn't have issues getting laid or anything or getting a girlfriend. He's probably been on 50 or 60 first dates. All of them with Asian women. So this 6'3" white guy named Alec I went to high school with. I met so many white guys like that, right? So yeah, if he finds out that his date is not going to be Asian woman, he refuses. He won't even go on a date or even talk with a white woman. So I mean, this is some just crazy, insane. This is some hentai tentacles, schoolgirls fetish some of these white guys have. And the same white guys were complaining white women going after black men, and they have an insane fetish about Asian women. And they say that, oh, look at these white women who are popping out black babies. You do realize that white people have the most recessive gene. So if you marry an Asian woman, 90% of the time your baby is going to come out Asian looking. Nothing controversial about it. It's just biological fact. Black people have the most dominant gene, and white people have the most recessive gene. And also, same thing with these white men who are complaining about, oh my God, so this crisis, we should stop interracial marriage, stop interracial dating. These are the same white guys who, after a long day of work, they will turn on their laptop, or will open up a can of beer, and they will search up sweet, innocent innocent little blondie getting absolutely impaled by a black guy with an 11-inch dick. I mean, that's the type of content you're consuming. If it is that repulsive to you guys, if you guys are hated so much, hey, don't watch it. I'm just telling you, man, you guys are the ones who are choosing to consume that kind of content. And it's the same thing if you're a black person. If you're living a very good life, you're very happy, you come from a stable nuclear family, let's say you got yourself a girlfriend, you might even be married, you have a couple of children, you have a good paying job, you're making 6 figures, everything in your life is going well. Then at the end of the workday, you log onto your laptop, and then you start Google searching terms like systematic oppression, white supremacy, racism in the United States. I mean, why, man? Why would you do that to yourself? Because I want to be honest, right? I don't want to just focus on white people. I want to be talking about everybody. You guys want to hear an interesting stat? The media never ever tells people this, so they always brush aside all the black on black crimes. This is actual fact. You can fact check me on this. In 88.6% of homicide cases in the United States, where the victim is a black man. So once again, 88.6% of the time, the perpetrator is also a black man. So yeah, why doesn't the media talk about that? It's a very, very small percentage of the time where the black man's the victim of a homicide, where a white man's the perpetrator. For every single black guy that gets killed by a white guy, you can find 11 more homicide cases where a black guy gets killed by another black guy. Nobody wants to talk about that. So let's say, if you're living a great life as a successful black man, and you go on the internet and you watch these videos. I understand, sometimes these things happen. The United States is a big country, has over 340 million people. Not everything in this world is going to be perfect. Once in a while, there's going to be chaos. Once in a while, there's going to be violence. And sometimes things just don't make sense. Of course, I understand. Yes, there's discrimination. But so what? You got to live your own life. But let's say, if you're living a great life in Austin, Texas, and then you watch some video of some crazy white guy in Boston, and he ends up shooting an unarmed black man, then you absolutely lose your mind. I mean, why look up those kind of videos, man? White people kill white people every single day. Brown people kill brown people every single day. And black people kill black people every single day. I'm not saying that it is right, but unfortunately, it does happen. And yes, once in a while, you see a white man killing a black man. It's unfortunate, but yes, these things will happen in a country of over 340 million people. And every time you're consuming that kind of content, all it does is that it's a dopamine hit for you. All it does is that it adds to your rage, it adds to your victimhood, and it makes you more depressed, it makes you more violent, and it makes you extremely unattractive and repulsive to everybody around you. Because once again, nobody wants to be around unhappy people. Imagine the next day you go to work, you see this crazy white guy in Boston that has shot some black guy, right? So now you start complaining. You said, oh Lord, I am so oppressed. Black people are so oppressed. We've been oppressed since the beginning of time. I'm so sick and tired of racism. I cannot stand white supremacy. Yeah, all you're doing is that you will turn everybody away from you. Because nobody wants to deal with that kind of drama. Nobody wants to be around someone that wants to play the victim card all the time. And it's the same thing. Let's say if you're an immigrant, let's say you just fresh off the boat, you just arrived in Canada from India, from Uttar Pradesh. Let's say you're not even a legal immigrant. You're one of those illegals, and you came to Canada on Canada's BS International Students Program. Then after you start enrolling your college, you're not really going to classes. You start working at Tim Hortons in order to get your permanent residency in Canada. Then you start complaining. You said, oh my God, Canada is so racist to Indians, man. These white people, they're so racist to me. These white women, they won't talk back to me when I try to chat with them at Tim Hortons. Everybody's so racist, man. I wish I could go back to India. Dude, you literally just arrived in a white majority country, and also you came to the country illegally. You should be glad that you're even offered a job at Tim Hortons, all thanks to the liberal government, and so that you can just work there for 2 years to get your permanent residency. There's got to be a reason why you wanted to escape India so bad, right? So, despite all of this, you're saying that, oh, Canada is so expensive, inflation's so bad, people are so racist. Why don't you just book a flight and move back to India? You won't. Why? Because India is a shithole third world country. I mean, that has to be the easiest explanation. I mean, if that is not true, if India is actually a first world country, why are millions and millions and millions of Indians so desperate to use every single method possible, using fake tourist visas, registering as a fake international students, or using other methods like the temporary foreign workers program? So yeah, if India is actually a great country, why are tens of millions of Indian men so desperate to leave? So you made that conscientious choice to come to a different part of the world where most of the people are still white in Canada and the United States. So you gotta follow their rules, and if you don't like it, you can get the F out. That's it. That's why I said so many times, right? I do agree the Western civilization is on a decline. If you watch my previous videos, I stated my reasons of what happened to me and my family and stuff, and why I have to be back in Canada just temporarily. I'll be off next year, and I'll be on my own. But my key message at the end of this video is that social media and the internet is terrible, terrible brain rot for everybody, especially on young people, because young people, they're spending more time than ever before compared to any generation on social media, on their smartphones. And honestly, you know, watching TV or being on your laptop is probably better than versus on your phone, because if you're on your phone all the time, if you're doing this, imagine that the damage that is going to do to your eyes. I mean, eventually a lot of these people, these millennials, Gen Z, and eventually Gen Alpha, I think a lot of these people, they're going to be blind by the time they're 40. Your eyesight is going to be absolutely destroyed. So I read that especially for a Gen Z liberal woman, they average the longest screen time on their phones. You wonder why they're unhappy all the time. I think the average for a Gen Z liberal woman is something like 6 hours and 40 minutes per day. I don't know what the hell you guys are doing. For me personally, the average screen time on my phone, at the maximum, it's maybe 3 hours. I would say most of the time it's probably around 2 hours, possibly to 2.5 hours. And even for me, I think that is way too much. I'm trying to stay away from my phone as much as I can. And honestly, YouTube is one of the few good platforms online, because I'm sure you guys have realized it's probably been, what, like a year since I posted a YouTube short. I don't think I will ever get into the short vertical format videos, because it's 100% brain rot. It destroys your attention span. That's what happens when you look at those TikToks, the Instagram Reels, when you're always on a Snapchat or on Facebook. There's so many of these 10, 20, 30-second vertical shorts. It's going to 100% destroy your brain. You're getting this constant dopamine hit, but after a while it's like doing fentanyl or cocaine or heroin. After a while, you just have to constantly be scrolling through all these vertical shorts just to keep yourself afloat. You never ever feel that high again. You're always down here. And it becomes a deadly addiction where you have to spend 6, 7, 8 hours every single day on your smartphone just to keep yourself alive. And this is also a major contributing factor as to why so many people are single now. So many people are so lonely, they're so depressed all the time, because they decide to look up some video, let's say on dating tips. But 90% of the time, it's just a bunch of brain rot garbage. Obviously, I've seen clips from Pearl Davis. I've seen clips from the Fresh and Fit podcast with Myron Gaines. I've also seen clips from the Whatever podcast with Brian Atlas. With a very few exceptions, I've seen some guests who are extremely knowledgeable, who actually gives young people really good advice, but I would say probably 95% of the clips from those dating podcasts is 100% garbage. I've already deleted all of those social media apps on my phone, so right now, as you guys can see, so you see that? So I have YouTube Studio, where I see my channel stats. I'm probably going to eventually delete X as well. I have Zoom meetings, and I have WhatsApp. That's it. LinkedIn, TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, Snapchat, and I will most likely never be going back. And honestly, I feel so much better after deleting all of those social media apps. 100% brain rot. If you guys want to actually find some really good information, I think YouTube is a very good platform actually. I understand, yes, there's a lot of garbage brain rot as well, but you have to look at the percentages of the garbage material, compare it to the real quality educational contents. So I would say on TikTok, if you scroll through 100 TikTok shorts, 98% of it is complete garbage. Maybe 2 videos out of 100 will actually be good. But on YouTube, if you actually have the attention span, if you actually can sit down and focus, there are lots of really, really good channels that honestly, over the years, I've learned so much from these channels. Sometimes, I will sit down and watch like an hour documentary from the National Geographic. Sometimes I'll watch a documentary, let's say, on the Okavango in Botswana. Absolutely incredible. And sometimes, I can actually sit down. I do have the attention span when I have the time. I'll sit down and watch an hour, possibly an hour and a half or 2 hours full-length documentary, let's say on the Historic Channel. And honestly, there's so much good information out there. And obviously, I want to focus my channel on more of that niche. But unfortunately, every time I talk about educational contents, the algorithm never seems to favor it. And it clearly shows that there's a massive issue between the youths today because they don't actually want to watch videos that can provide them with a lot of educational content. But instead, they just want to watch videos about BBC, about snow bunnies, about interracial dating, about mud sharks and winter soldiers and that kind of stuff. To all of the people out there who are watching this video, especially if they think that your life is heading for the wrong direction, you're at a dead end right now, and you need to turn your life around 180 degrees. Start with deleting your social media and stop scrolling through those vertical shorts videos. Actually try to increase your attention span. Just actually sit down, watch some full-length documentaries. So much good stuff out there. I would say, just World War I, World War II, the Cold War. So many full-length documentaries on there. And I learned so much over the years by watching those videos. And honestly, I would say, after watching countless hours of those full-length documentaries, it has made me a better person, certainly not worse. Has not made me any angrier versus what I used to be, but definitely when I was scrolling through those shorts on various social media platforms, that's what was making me extremely angry and depressed. And also, if you're feeling miserable and if you think that, just mentally you cannot take it anymore, how about just go outside and go for a run? Then you will be hit with a brutal reality. You think your mental health is bad. Just wait until you find out how bad your physical health is. I would like to say my fitness, even though it's been on decline, it's still better than 95% of people, especially if I'm compared to Americans. I have made 2 varsity running teams. I ran 6 marathons and 22 half marathons. Actually, so, stop scrolling through social media. And if you do, actually sit down and watch some full-length educational contents. Actually watch some, 1 hour long documentaries. You can learn so much. And other than that, right, so go outside, talk to some people actually, talk to some people in person, because not everybody is bad. Not everybody is crazy woke. Not all women are screaming banshees. Not all men are raging alcoholics or intravenous drug users. Most people are just normal, everyday people. And they wake up, they go to work, maybe they drink some beer, they like to eat some fast food, and that's pretty much it. Drink some Kool-Aid and touch some grass, then you will realize that, hey, maybe life isn't so bad after all once you leave the virtual world behind.
Keep my head up when I act, head up, that's a fact. Never looking back, I'ma keep myself on track.